United for 25 years, the once run-down Berlin has become a symbol of German liberalism. After the wall fell, a free-thinking anything-goes attitude blossomed in the city, fostered in part by the many vacant properties that attracted thousands of internationally creatively minded young people. Life was cheap, liberal and adventurous.
Berlin is poor but sexy. That's the whole point of Berlin. It really is poor. Look at any other capital in Europe, and you'll see that they are different from Berlin.
Samuel Severino, aka DJ Lucatore, came to Berlin from Switzerland 14 years ago. He feels the city is changing.
Now it's completely over. It started with the Football World Cup in 2006. That introduced a lot more foreigners to the city, and prices began to rise very quickly. And they've kept rising since then.
For me, it's really expensive. I have to find a new job first.
Amelie, an architecture student, came to Berlin looking for opportunities and fun in an affordable city.
For 3 months in summer, I didn't have a working shower. Last winter, the heating didn't work because they connected the pipes wrongly. Here, the window handle is missing and my window freezes over. All in all, a pretty apartment, but it's actually not great.
Now, competition for space is fierce. Not so long ago, there were plenty of vacant buildings, as one artist recalls.
You could just go and use a place when you wanted. You didn't need any money for it. You just had to ask or pay very little. And then you could exhibit your art, have parties.
Kunst ausstellen, Partys veranstalten.
Thousands of young artists, musicians and free spirits with big ideas and little money flooded into Berlin to fill the vacuum. Inevitably, commercial interests followed. In the last 5 years alone, rents have risen by 56%. Now, 25 years after the city's reawakening, the old days of New Berlin have definitely gone, says Betty Stürmer.
Here in the inner city, it's really getting too tight now for low-budget projects.
There's a new wave of arrivals with different ideas and much bigger budgets.
Out of the major startup and tech scenes happening or growing right now, I think it's San Francisco, New York, Berlin. You know, London is growing, but Berlin by far is the most maturing and the most beautiful to me.
Kat Moon is a young entrepreneur from New York. She's building an online ebook creation business and chose to do it in Berlin.
I think there's a ton of hype around it, and rightfully so. Between the culture, the beauty that is Berlin, and the fact that it's growing. I think that's what everyone loves, is that the fact that they can be a part of a city that's maturing and they can mature and grow with it. So I think that's part of its charm and honestly why it's attractive to me as well.
Others take advantage of Berlin's growing talent pool. Tom Kirschbaum is creating an app that helps people navigate around the city.
I think Berlin has this radiance because it combines so many things. A lot of similar talents meet here. The city is attractive culturally, and the situation is exciting. It's not as expensive as London yet, but at the same time it has a good quality of life, and that's why the people who apply here want to go to Berlin and not another place.
His company alone employs 30 programmers, designers and marketing experts from some 20 countries.
Startups have become very important for Berlin. With more than 60,000 employees, startups are now as important economically as the tourism sector. That's how important the startup scene is for Berlin.
Die Startup-Industrie eine ganz große Chance für die Hauptstadt ist.
6 months ago, more than half the venture capital invested in Europe went to Germany, mainly to Berlin, according to one startup association.
I've noticed that parts of the city have become really international. There are cafes around here where people now only communicate in English. And we've noticed the arrival of a new culture of failure. People now realize that failing is a part of innovation. That's something you won't hear in any other German city, but in Berlin, that's a reality now.
In Berlin funktioniert das mittlerweile.
American business principles and an openness to international recruitment are now fueling the growth of the international community in Berlin. Migration has shaped Berlin for decades. But this evolutionary pressure is changing the city. About 500,000 inhabitants of Berlin currently hold a foreign passport. Since 2002, an English language magazine has been published specifically aimed at expats.
That magazine sells pretty well on this corner. Ex-Berliner, and after that, it's those two.
Nearly all buildings in inner city areas have been refurbished with national and international money. Prices have risen dramatically, making homes unaffordable for many. The external face of Berlin, however, hasn't changed as radically, as the city's deeply in debt.
With this big influx, Berlin is growing by 40 to 50,000 people per year. We have questions of infrastructure to solve, things like living space, childcare facilities, hospitals and transport. We have to build infrastructure for these new arrivals everywhere.
Every year, the state of Berlin receives almost €3.5 billion in subsidies from Germany's other states to cope with the financial strain. Many Berliners don't directly benefit from the boom either. 1 in 5 receive unemployment benefits and 1 in 7 risk falling below the poverty line. Many have moved away, and some of those who've stayed think Berlin's original allure is fading.
It was wow. People were really relaxed, smiling, calm and totally cool. It wasn't as stressful as all the other European capitals. But now it's become completely different. People don't smile anymore. They're more stressed. And in the metro, there's more tension. A few years ago, that wasn't the case at all.
If that's still sexy, I don't know. I think the question is, now Berlin is poor and rich. The gap is getting bigger.
Es geht irgendwie immer weiter auseinander.